Hello everyone, this is Gage from Gundoring Smith, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys another Third Age Reforged online multiplayer battle replay. However, this one is not like the others, the most obvious factor of course being this one is actually played on the 0.97 test patch. Yes indeed, you are going to be getting to see, or you're going to be able to see some test patch previews right here in this particular battle. And this particular battle is actually also one of many that have been taking place recently on the Reforged community. And that is because this is one of the battles for the Spoils of War charity event for Third Age Reforged. The exact details and rules of that, well, I'll probably just put them down below, either in the description or in the comments, just so anybody who is interested in that can go ahead and read the rules and things like that. Basically, it's just a good versus evil team battle. It's basically just good versus evil team battles on the 0.97 test patch, and the winning team, either good or evil, get to decide what charity will get $100 donated by J Monster from Reforged development team, of course. But without any further, we can go ahead and go into the army compositions, beginning with Jordan, J Monster, of course, who sent me the replay here, so big thank you to him for that. I've also, of course, put a link down in the description below to his channel, though I am sure, of course, you guys already know about his channel. Anyway, he's going to be playing as Dale here because he is actually on the good side. You can see he's actually got some Dalian Royal Guard here. He's got, I believe, maybe three units, just 2 units actually, rather, of the dismounted Earls of Dale. Pretty good sword and shield infantry, slightly above average, but they are kind of expensive and relatively low in number. He's got 2 units of the melee cav that are the Earls of Dale. Should do pretty well as long as they're used defensively. They're not going to be getting a ton of kills on infantry because they don't have lances, but against other cavalry they should do quite well. However, he only has 2 units of cav, so he will probably have to be rather defensive with them. He's got 2 units, one on either side of the Lake Town Bowmen, and as you can see, in 0.97 they've actually been given a shield here, so they will be able to withstand some skirmish fire for a pretty decent amount of time. He's got 2 units of the Lake Town River Patrol AP Javelins, pretty cheap, but pretty cost-effective jabs. He's got 3 units of the cheap Lake Town Pikemen, 2 units of the Dalian Marksmen, of course, very, very sturdy archers with good attack value, or good missile damage, as well as just melee stats all around, and with their good armor and shield values, they can weather arrows for a very long time. Very similar to them, we've got the Bardian Marksmen, 2 units of them with their armor upgrades, and oh boy, I am just such a huge fan of the Bardian Marksmen. I really like how they perform. They're really good archers, and they are not half bad at all in melee. Not to mention the fact that with the armor upgrade, they look absolutely amazing. Really like that unit model right there. But that pretty much does it for his army, so we can now go to the first of his allies. Again, this is a good versus evil, like I said before. We've got Engsfitz playing as the Realm of Linden. He's got a couple units, I think actually 3 units of Harlandon infantry, 2 down here, maybe 2 down there as well, so 4 units of Forlandon infantry. He's got some Forlandon long spears here, basically just piping. It looks like he's got 3 units of them. He's got a couple units of the Forlandon archers, as well as a couple units of the Forlandon AP javelins. He's also got over here one of the horse archers. He's got a unit of the Horse Lords of Ulmo, very deadly knight unit, of course, with those 2 HP. With the 2 HP makes them, of course, last for a very long time as well. Over here, he's also got some Mithlond Lancers. Of course, they don't really need much of an introduction there. Javelins as well as Lancers on horseback. And over here, he's also got a unit of the Chariots. They'll pretty much do it for his army, though, although it is kind of small. He may have like a hidden ranger unit around here or something. You can see there are some trees back here that he could be hiding some units in, but we'll have to see that later on. And the final faction is going to be, of course, my favorite faction, my personal favorite faction players, especially in 0.97, and that is Gondor. This is going to be commanded by Mech Starling. And as you can probably tell, Gondor has received some very significant changes in unit models. They've actually gotten some buffs as well through stats. So I think they're actually going to be a bit more competitive, and you might actually end up seeing them a bit more once 0.97 actually does come out. And they oh my gosh, they just look absolutely stunning. You can see these Marksmen of Carandros, still relatively the same as 0.96.1, but they just look so epic with these upgraded unit models. They just look absolutely amazing. He's got a couple units of them, or maybe just only 1 actually. No, 2 units of the Marksmen of Carandros. Looks like he's got 2 units of the Gondor Archers without armor upgrades. You can see they also have gotten a new unit model. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see some armor upgrades on these standard units like Gondor Archers or Gondor Infantry. But something I should also mention is that the armor upgrades for Gondor have actually been reduced from costing 50 florins to 25 florins. So you will be able to bring armor upgrades for a little bit less of a cost. It's got a couple units here of the Garrison Archers of Ramus Acor, pretty much the same as they used to. I believe they have slightly less ammo maybe. So they're not going to be quite as cost effective, but they still should hold up pretty well in a prolonged skirmish fight. He's got one of the Garrison of Ramus Acor. Sorry, some of the names have just been slightly changed, so it's a little bit hard. So it's a little bit confusing for me sometimes. But yeah, just light infantry, they should do okay. And I think because they're technically, oh no, they're heavy infantry. Never mind, I thought they were light infantry, but that does not seem to be the case. Over here you can see we've actually got some Fountain Guard here as well with their awesome new unit models that just look absolutely stunning. Of course, they're going to be just as deadly as of old. It's got a couple units here of the forebears of Valacirca? I don't know. They're basically just the guards was good from the last patch. They're basically just the same. They just got a slightly different name. He's got another here of the Ramscourt Garrison Light Infantry, and back here for cavalry, surprisingly large amount of cavalry from Gondor. He's got a couple units of the Gondor cavalry without armor upgrades. They're kind of in my opinion. They're okay. They can sometimes be useful, but they're not super great all around. I mean, if you give them the armor upgrades, they can weather arrows pretty decent, but they don't actually have shields, so they're still not going to be able to hold up too great to skirmish fire. One of the only, in my opinion, worthwhile cavalry units to bring from Gondor is, of course, here the Mithrandir's Retainer Bodyguard. Again, these guys have a new unit model. They look absolutely stunning, and with the armor upgrade, these guys do not have it, but if you give them the armor upgrade, they actually have a nice looking cape. They look pretty similar to units like the Marksmen of CARNAGE, so they look really, really cool as well. Of course, 2 HP Lancers, not quite knights, but still very, very good. It's going to have the Veterans of Osgiliath back here as well with both armor upgrades. You can see Boromir being the officer there is in fact his general's bodyguard as well. Recently, like in 0.96.1, I'd never found these guys super useful, but I've been using them a bit recently. I actually used them in a scenario just the other day, and I found them to be very, very useful, so I might actually be bringing these guys more often. He's also got a unit of the Sentinels of Hiraluin, the Pentheon Cavalry of old, and he's got another unit of the Gondor Cavalry right over here. That'll pretty much do it for the army compositions of the good team, so we'll now go ahead and look at the army comps of the evil team. Alright, so we are now going to be able to look over the army compositions of the evil team, but I should also mention the fact that you should go ahead and check out the link in the description below and go ahead and vote for Third Age Reforged for Mod of the Year on moddb.com. The link to that will, of course, be down in the description below. Also, something I should mention, because you might be a little bit confused by this, Numenor, because Numenor was kind of split in half, you know, some went to go turn to like Arthedain and Cardolan, the others went to turn to like Rudar and things like that. Numenor can actually play both sides of this actual event. You can play as Numenor both on the good team and on the evil team, the good team and the evil team. Sorry, my bad. A little confused. It's late at night here, but whatever. Alright, so for whatever reason, the video got kind of like, I don't know, messed up somehow. Kind of were just like stuck on the same frame for when I was doing the army compositions of the evil team. So without any further ado, I'll go ahead and straight into those as well. But I should also mention that I think because of that weird issue, it also cut off maybe like the first, maybe like 30 seconds really of the battle, and all that was really happening was just some archers were moving around, and I think the Hawacha was about to begin firing, but it ended up being okay because I looked back at the footage and I did actually have the first opening shots from the Hawachas as well, so that's all good. That's all well and good. So the crash actually did turn out to be kind of a good thing because it actually made me not mess up all that footage right away. But anyway, without any further ado, we can go ahead and go into the army compositions with the evil team. Beginning with Eclipse 2500 of the Dark Lord, who's playing as Numenor. He's got 4 units of the Romena Marines. He's got 2 here and then 2 over there. Of course, the Romena Marines are very good at swordsmen and javelin hybrids with their AP javelins. They can do a lot of damage from a decent amount of distance, and then of course with their sword and shields and infantry that actually make for very good sword and board infantry. You've got, I believe, 3, maybe 4 units, actually maybe just 3 units rather, of the Roman Sentinels, very, very good, very well armored pikemen. He's got 2 units of the Alcarondus Legion, of course very similar to the Castamir's Legion of Umbar. He's got a unit of the Naru and our Royal Guard from Umbar as well for his general's bodyguard unit. So he's got actually, yes, 4 units actually rather of the Roman Sentinels, because there are 2 more back here. He's got 2 units of the Seafarers of Nindamos, who are a new javelin unit to Numenor. These guys, unlike the Roman Marines, are actually not AP javelins. Their javelins still have pretty high missile damage, but they're not actually AP, and they're melee, or they're spearmen and melee, so they can do a little bit better against cavalry. So a very interesting unit all around. And as you can probably tell, besides the Naru Royal Guard, Numenor has not brought any foot archers, but he has brought like 6 units of javelins, so pretty cool. He also has 1 unit here of the Alcarondus Faithful and Knight melee unit. He's also got some hidden Numenorean rangers around here as well. For Khan, we have got Mob Luciusar here playing as Khan. And Khan is actually a faction that I really recently enjoyed playing a lot in 0.97. I've actually played him once, I think, for this particular event as well. Not this battle, but I have played him before. And he's actually brought 2 Hawachas here. And these artillery pieces should do very, very good in this open map. And we'll probably get a lot of kills, all things considered. I believe he's got maybe 1... No, he's got 1 unit of nomadic light infantry here, and he's got like 3 over there. He's also got 2 units rather, sorry, of the nomadic slave cavalry, 1 here, 1 on the other side. These are the lowest tier horse archers that Khan has to bring, but they're rather cheap and they're pretty high in number. He's going to have the Elite Stormguard of Khan, who are, of course, a very, very good horse archer. He's got a unit of the Nurad Windblades, very, very swift 2 HP cavalry men. They're not Lancers, but they still have a very deadly charge. He's got 2 units of the AP Nurad Footmen, 1 unit of the Stormguard of Nurad, who, with their fear instilling capabilities as well as AP, they should do reasonably well. For his main lane, he's got 3 units of the AP Nurad Halberds, as well as 3 units of Nomadic Light Infantry. However, with all this AP, it's probably not going to be super useful against Lyndon. I mean, it'll be useful against Dale and Gondor, but all the AP is really not going to serve him that well against the lightly armored forces of Lyndon. He's also got a couple units here of the Nomadic Raiders here, very high in number archers, but not great all around. Here you can see a setting of Nomadic Slave Cavalry, and over here we can see Harad being played by DFP. He's got 2 units of the Haradrim Archers up here, he's got 2 units of the Haradrim Spears, he's got 2 units of the AP Lancers that are the Serpent Guard, he's also got 1 unit of the Black Serpents here, there's the 2nd unit of Serpent Guard there. The Black Serpents, I should mention, are not Knights, but they are 2 HP Lancers with very good stats. He's got, I believe, 1 unit of the Haradrim Raiders, who are, of course, Horse Archers. He's got 1 of the Champions of Nafrat for his General's Bodyguard, as well as a unit of the very deadly Body-Piercing Javelins that are the Demons of the Desert. And to top it off, he's got 1 unit of the Mumakil, who will do a very, very nice job, to say the least. That pretty much do it for the army comps, and I believe the footage kind of went back to normal right around here, so we will be able to see this opening Hawatch shot in just a moment. So hope you guys do enjoy the battle. Alright, so we're back where right about where we just crashed, but again, we should not, we hopefully won't crash again. I mean, I'm crossing my fingers not that it won't. But anyway, you can see the Hawatch, both Hawatches firing now down right upon Lyndon. And because of how kind of like crazy their fire is, even though these units are all spread out, both of those Hawatches are actually going to get a lot of kills on pretty much the entire army of Lyndon, just because of how inaccurate they are. You can see they're hitting pretty much this entire area right there. So the double Hawatcha actually proving to be pretty useful just immediately, just right off the bat like that, taking out a lot of Engsfitz's troops, which is definitely something I think is going to be necessary for the evil team to win. That, and I think being aggressive is probably the only way that the evil team will be able to win this one. Because of how many archers that both Dale and Gondor brought, they're going to have to be aggressive and to make a push before the good team's archers are able to get in a bunch of kills. You can in fact see that, looks like, oh, I was going to say Numenor might be rushing forward here, which would not be a bad idea because he doesn't have any foot archers besides his elite one, but he should not move forward in waves, and if he's going to move forward, he's going to need support from his allies. You can see he's actually already taking some skirmish fire right now. His Ravenna Sentinels taking some arrows from the Forlondon archers of Engsfitz, and probably the Dalian marksmen pretty shortly will be able to fire on those pikemen as well. Again, Jordan or something, as well as both Dale and Gondor brought a ton of archers. I think they each brought like 7 foot archers, something like that. I think Gondor might actually even have 8, because I thought I saw some Athelian Rangers somewhere around here as well. Maybe. I don't see them quite yet. Maybe they're still hidden somewhere. Maybe they're just kind of sitting back here somewhere. I'm almost positive he has Athelian Rangers, but I'm not totally sure, I guess. Also, something that should be mentioned is that the Hawatcha only doesn't have a ton of ammo. So you'd have to be slightly conservative with it. You can see that Lucky Azar has actually stopped firing just now, and he's going to be moving forward a little bit, try to get some better shots off. Looks like he may actually be ending up trying to target Dale. However, you can see that Engsfitz is moving forward with some Forlondon archers here. Maybe going to try to skirmish down the Hawatcha crew? Possibly. I mean, elves are definitely good at that because of their high accuracy. They actually can stand, for the most part, to waste ammo on catapult and artillery crew. Just because of how accurate they are, they actually can do a pretty decent job at cutting them all down, even if they're in loose formation. Yes, you can see the Hawatcha is indeed now opening up on Dale. You can see Jordan scrambling to put his units into loose formation here. He doesn't have a ton of footline infantry. Sorry if you can hear the train back there, by the way. You can see he actually had his archers mixed in with his pipeline here to try and protect them. He's also got, I mean, he's got a couple units back here of dismounted Earls of Dale. That's really the only shielded infantry he has. I mean, of course, all of his archers, I think actually all 6 out of his 7 foot archers do have shields, but I mean, they're archers, so they don't whip them out until they're in melee, of course. I can see the double Hawatcha just opening up now on Dale. Oh boy. It's hitting, again, pretty much the entire army. You can see it's even taking out some of these Earls of Dale back here. Looks like they actually might have gotten some buffs as well. Looks like they actually have a few more numbers than they used to in 0.96.1, which is good to see. Melee cav is definitely a very important thing in this game. You can see even some of the hidden units getting taken out by that Hawatcha. So the Hawatcha definitely proving to be useful somewhat. I mean, it's not forcing the good team to come towards them. I think that's mainly because of how many foot archers the good team has brought, so they're not going to want to move forward until they've expended most of their ammo. You can see Gondor has now moved most of his army over here to his allies' aid, although he does still have a portion of his forces here on this little island. Harad, meanwhile, has moved his Mumakil over to Numenor's side to fight against Dale. and the rest of his infantry is still just kind of chilling out here. Looks like some of the nomadic raiders have taken some losses to skirmish fire. Also, I love the fact that this is a snowy, wintry day here, because of course it is getting close to Christmas, so it's always nice to see some snowy maps like this. You can see that the nomadic raiders pushing forward pretty aggressive here, pushing forward pretty far. They might be trying to get some cover from this hill right here. Maybe they even get on top of the hill and try to fire down, but they're getting awfully close to the front lines of the good team. Full on archers opening up on the nomadic raiders. The nomadic raiders do have a lot of numbers, but it'd be a close fight, I guess, I think, with the 4 archers. It's going to be close, I think. You can see already about 30 of the nomadic raiders have fallen before they even opened up one volley down onto those 4 archers, although they are beginning to fire now, and because of how many numbers they have and how lightly armored the 4 archers are, they still might be able to do a decent amount of damage. So there goes that first volley, and again, they are in loose formation, and with the loose formation in this like super thin line, it's really hard to get kills. However, you can see some cavalry movement going on now. You can see the horse archers of Linden moving forward, as well as the chariot. Oh no, the chariots here from Engspitz running over a few of his own units, but that's fine, they'll get back up. However, I cannot say the same if the chariots get into these foot archers here. They're going to cause a lot of damage. Chariots are very, very effective at running down archers, even in loose formation like this. And you can see there are, in fact, they need a charge off here. Oh, excellent play right here from Engspitz with his chariots. He's just able to run them up and down this entire line right here. You can see Harad and Connacht trying to maybe scramble some units to get over here. But you can see already some of the damage is being dealt here by Engspitz, although he does need to be careful. These chariots are by no means cheap, so he does have to be careful of losing them. If they get surrounded by the Serpent Guard and the Haradrim Raiders or things like that, they will go down, which is why he is, of course, pulling back. But he did do a decent amount of damage to those foot archers, which is definitely a good thing, because whittling down the numbers of these lower-tier archers will definitely help out Engspitz's own foot archers. Numenor still being pretty static for the most part. It looks like he is taking some losses to skirmish fire. He's moving some of his seafarers of Nindamos around the flank as well. Some of the Haradrim forces around here, as well as Khan. So some good teamwork, of course, here. Always nice to see. Nomadic Raiders, yeah, once again beginning to skirmish down with their enemy. Over here you can see Gondor's Ramescore Garrison archers are in range as well. They do have quite a bit less ammo than before, so they're not going to be able to fire for quite as long, but they will still be able to hold up to skirmish fire for a pretty decent amount of time. But because of the fact that they do have a little bit less ammo, you do have to be a little bit more careful about what targets you want to actually fire at them with. Looks like right now Starling is content to just use them on the Nomadic Raiders, which is probably fine, in all honesty, just because of how much they outnumber the evil team in terms of actual foot skirmishers. Because even Harad only brought like 1 or 2 units of Haradrim archers. I mean, they've got 203 men granted, but again, against like 7 or 8 of the Gondor foot archers, even those 400 Haradrim archers will not last for terribly long. The Hawacha now moving over to Gondor. The double Hawacha is now moving over towards Gondor, which is definitely a good call, because you can see that Gondor is probably the most bunched up. You can see his pipeline, he doesn't even have units in loose formation besides his archers. And if he's able to target things like the cavalry back here, that will do an obscene amount of damage. I was playing a 2v2 of this event just the other day, and as Kond actually, and the Hawacha did great work for me against some enemy cavalry, just because of how kind of like wild the fire was. It pretty much fired on pretty much the entire unit, so it took out a large portion of the cavalry I was facing there, but that is beside the point. Foreign archers moving back and forth, looks like, and it looks like Dale is actually moving, yeah, it looks like Jordan is going to be moving his entire army, maybe to the aid of Linden here? And that may actually end up forcing Numenor to do something, because Numenor is, I mean, Numenor's right next to his ally, so he probably won't move that much, I would say. But the good team players are definitely kind of starting to blob up here a bit, and if they're not careful, they may take some pretty hefty losses to that Hawacha. We'll just have to see. Jordan could probably hide most of his army, honestly, in these trees back here, set up a nice little ambush, which would be kind of cool. But again, if he did that, he would be kind of pretty far behind his ally here, so that probably wouldn't be the best call, in all honesty. Harlandon Guard, they've got shields, so they're and slightly better armor than the Harlandon Archers, although they're more expensive, and they're spearmen in melee, so they can stand up to cavalry decently well, especially with the recent spearmen buff in 0.97. Nomadic Raiders down to 128, so the Nomadic Raiders are not faring too well. They're really not getting too many kills, and they're suffering a lot of casualties in return. The Hawacha is once again moving around. Only 110 of these Nomadic Raiders. There are still all of the Haradrim Archers. I really don't know how this is going to go, though, for the evil team. Their armies, all 3 of their armies kind of seem like support armies, really. So I don't really know how well this is going to go. for the evil team. But we'll see how things turn out. Actually, back here, looks like Dale is once again moving. Jordan just moving here behind his ally here. Not quite sure where he's headed towards, but it should turn out for him in the end anyway. We've got some Gondor cavalry moving forward here, and the rest of the Gondor cav is moving way around here on the flank, it looks like. Or at least a portion of the Gondor cav, not all of it. They may, ooh, I didn't even notice, you can see there's a pathway here, so they might actually be able to go all the way around here and then go around the flank of Harad and maybe try to get some charges off on the archers or even on the Serpent Guard here. So that could definitely be worth it, especially because the Mumakil are not over here, nor are the Haradrim infantry. The only Haradrim force over here are some cav, and then the archers, and then the cheap spearmen. So the cavalry flank from Gondor here could prove useful, although the Haradrim archers would definitely be able to open up some shots here on any Gondor cavalry coming through this gap here. Maybe if they went all the way around, they would maybe be able to avoid that, but by that time the Haradrim player would probably be able to notice that and do something to avoid any casualties. Kind of unfortunate, it looks like that the good team did not bring any artillery because this very blobbed up line of halberds and nomadic light infantry would be a very good target for the artillery. Oh, look at that, the Huacha! Oh my goodness. This is like a perfect view because you can just see all the explosions there in the background. And now that Jordan has moved behind his ally, you can see the Huachas are just going to be even more effective against the good team here. The Huacha just opening up there. But again, they don't have much ammo, so you can see they are doing a decent amount of damage, especially you can see with all these Dale units blobbed up back here. They're doing a good amount of damage. However, like I said before, the Huachas do not have a ton of ammo, so they will not be able to fire for that much longer, I would assume. Looks like nothing more is happening quite yet. Gondor moving forward as well with his pike line. Surprisingly not taking any fire from the Huacha. His pike line is not taking any fire from the artillery yet. Over here we got some horse archers of Linden actually, trying to skirmish down the horse archers of Lucky Hussar's Khandish forces. And you can see the nomadic slave cavalry really no match one-to-one with the Linden horse archers. This particular unit of Khandish horse archers is actually the lowest tier. They've got a lot of numbers, but they're really not great in a one-to-one horse archer fight, especially with Elven horse archers. I mean, they would be able to do good against something like maybe Haradrim horse archers or some like lower tier horse archers, but against the Elven horse archers, oh yeah, they're not going to stand much of a chance. You can see they're inflicting some casualties, but they're really taking a lot in return. Looks like there are not even any foot archers over here to give aid to the Khandish horse archers as well, so just a straight up 1v1 there with the horse archers of Linden and Khand. Looks like Linden is actually pulling out of that fight. He's got 35 of his horse archers left, and Khand has 30. So yeah, definitely going very well there for Linden in that horse archer engagement. You can actually see that Jordan is moving forward with some of his archers here, as well as Linden. They're also moving forward with some archers. So we've got a lot of archers actually over here on this flank. Actually, that's probably why the Elven horse archers did so well. They were being given support by some foot archers from Inkfits as well. I didn't even notice that. That is definitely probably what happened there. And ooh, back here, we can see a nice charge here. A flank from the chariots. Oh, actually exposing the Rangers of Eclipse 2500. And that is not good. I mean, he's got some cavalry over there, but they're kind of far away. And because Eclipse was not paying attention, he's going to suffer a lot of casualties here from his Numenorean, for his Numenorean Shadow Guard here. Yeah, that is not great at all. You can see he is in fact scrambling his knight unit over there to try to come over here. It looks like actually the chariots didn't do quite as much damage as I would have expected of them. Only killed... Did they even kill any? I don't see any dead bodies. Either way, you can see that Engspitz is having to pull back with his chariots, although he is pushing forward here with his Mython Lancers. And if they still have javelin ammo, they could do a pretty good amount of damage to those knights over there, although there are some Mumakil back there and some scrambling Romana Marines to come over here as well, and they will be able to trade javelins with the Mython Lancers. And yes, in fact, the Mython Lancers do have javs, and they're throwing them straight at the faithful knight unit right here. Looks like the Mython Lancers might get caught a little bit, but they're not going to suffer any casualties, it looks like. And again, those constant javelin volleys going to slowly but surely whittle down the health of those knights there. You can see Eclipse 2500 scrambling some Romana Sentinels back there to try and help out, but really not working out too well for him. Oh boy, these slave cavalry are all the way down to 15. Yeah, probably both these Huachas don't have all that much ammo left over, which is why they're being a little bit conservative here. But again, I don't really know if Evil can stand to be conservative here. They're very much outclassed by the good team's foot archers. Not to mention, are they outclassed in like actual quality, but there are way more, like way more numbers of foot archers from the good team. So I don't really think Evil can stand to be this static right here. I mean, I of course know why they're so hesitant. They want to run straight into pikes and javelins and things like that, but with all these foot archers, you can't really just sit back and let them pepper your units down to nothing really. Although although it does have to be said that most of the infantry here from the Evil forces, with the exception of Numenor, are relatively lightly armored. So on the advance, they would definitely take a lot of casualties. But again, Harad in particular did not bring much infantry at all, so he may end up suffering pretty heavily. I mean, his Demons of the Desert could of course sway the fight very heavily in his favor if he used them correctly, but they've got very light armor, and with all of those foot archers from Gondor, who is directly opposed to him right now, the Demons of the Desert would likely take a lot of casualties on the advance as well. Not much going on, looks like, although Numenor maybe just reforming his lines here. You can see there are still some Forlorn archers opening up some fire there, and we've got these are the horse archers rather, of Linden still with some ammo left over. Ooh. Oh yeah, where'd the chariots go? Oh, they're back there. Okay, I was like, where'd the Mython Lancers and the chariots go? But they're just running away now. Looks like with the advance of some Haradrim Raiders, that was enough to make Linden retreat with his cavalry. So you can see things slowing down here a bit, but it's not a particularly long battle, so things should pick up in pace pretty shortly here. And I think it's going to be a close one. It's going to be really interesting to see how this turns out. See, the Nomadic Raiders still have ammo. Oh no, they don't actually. They have no ammo left over. So they're just taking some skirmish fire now from the Dalian Marksmen, it looks like. Oh yeah, the Foot Archers of Evil really not faring too well. Dalian Marksmen moving forward here. Maybe going to try to take some shots on things like Romanes Sentinels, because they are pikes, of course. So that maybe is not going to be the case quite yet. What's back here? I thought I saw... Oh, yes, you can see that the Gondor cavalry has moved around the flank here. You can see it's got some Gondor cavalry, some... Yeah, the Mithrandir's retainer bodyguards, sorry, as well as some more Gondor cav. And unfortunately, because these guys are spear cav, they're not going to have... Like, they're not going to be insanely good against infantry. They do have a AP charge, but you do not want to leave them in a prolonged engagement with infantry. Even if it's not spearmen, you really don't want to leave these guys in a fight for too long. You really just want to get a charge off and then run back. It's pretty much the only way they're going to be able to be of any use. But oh man, the Mithrandir's retainer bodyguard looks so good. Also, I should actually mention... Oh, hold on a second. I'm gonna pause it for just a second here, but I should actually mention that I would really like to appreciate the just really awesome amount of attention to detail being given here by the developers here. Just because I like Gondor a lot, you know, I've researched everything pretty much about them, and even just seeing the small things that have changed from 0.96.1 to 0.97. Like before, the Gondor archers had like yellow bows, whereas in like the movies and other portrayals of them, they actually have black bows. Just seeing that change to the black bow, and even just the small things like that, I just noticed all the little small things like that. And you can't actually see them here, but the standard Gondor spearmen, their spear tips have actually been changed to the ones that are more commonly known as Gondor spears, or more likely to be seen as Gondor spears anyway. So just the great attention to detail is really something that I really do enjoy about this mod, just so much. But anyway, you can see that Evil is actually rushing forward here. You can see the infantry of Khan just rushing forward here with the support of the Haradrim units. And we'll go ahead and slow it down just a bit so we can see the full glory of this epic charge from the Evil forces. You can see Lucky Asar kind of going a little bit out of formation here, kind of moving forward in columns a little bit, but he should be able to reassess that and reposition his troops in a more of a bit of a better battle line here pretty shortly. And again, if I were Lucky Asar, I would honestly want to go after Gondor, because his AP halberds are not going to do great against the very lightly armored units of Linden. I mean, they'll do good against Dale and Gondor, but again, not a great situation. See, Nomadic Raiders out of ammo, just going to rush in first here. We're going to get a bit of the infantry fighting here. Nomadic Raiders charging. Again, Khan does not have great morale, so you can see they're already actually shaken before even fighting at all. And unfortunately for these guys, they're going to run directly into the pipeline here of Gondor, and that is not going to be very good for them whatsoever. Elsewhere, you can see Numenor is also rushing forward. Now you can see that both Dale and Linden have set up their pike lines, so it's going to be a really heinous line battle right here. And with all of the foot archers that the good team has brought, if Evil is able to push through the pike lines here, they may be able to make the good team suffer for bringing so many foot archers, because the foot archers, for the most part, aren't super great in melee. I mean, there are a few exceptions, of course, but it's going to be interesting to see how things turn out. Ooh, you can actually see the forebears of Valstirka, or whatever you want to call them, are actually rushing forward here. Probably not a great idea in all honesty, because when they're not in guard mode, pikes tend to be kind of not that effective. I mean, they are fighting against the Herodrum Spearmen, but there are some AP Nord Halberds coming in, as well as some Nomadic Light Infantry and some AP Nord Footmen. Although over here, you can see that, these poor Herodrum Spearmen are just going to get absolutely butchered there. But not only are there a bunch of archers over here going to be able to get some great fire on the flanks, you can actually see that some infantry, that being some Marines of Pelagir and some Fountain Guard, are also moving around the flank here. Maybe going to try to take out some of these Serpent Guard and the Black Serpents bodyguard as well, but we'll have to see if that is the case. Mumakil have been brought back over here by Peak to help out his own fight. Southland Pikeman AP Pike's going to do really good against most of the Gondor roster. But yeah, over here things are just getting so messy. The Gondor Pikes definitely pretty decent, but again, because they're not being given any support here, they may end up falling pretty shortly, especially because you can see, yeah, it looks like the Watcher was out of ammo because there's the Watcher crew, but they are going to be getting outflanked here if they're not careful, and with the fear-instilling power that the Storm Guard of Nurad bring, that may actually cause some red. You can see Linden rushing forward into the fight here, the Harlan infantry charging directly into the Nurad Halberds, and now we get to see some good old-fashioned good versus evil infantry fighting begin. You can see Dale here supporting his ally Linden with all of his own infantry. Nomadic Light Infantry very much inferior to the dismounted Earls of Dale in melee, although if they're given support by the Nurad Halberds, they may end up doing it decent. But whoa boy, this pipeline of Dale, not something I would want to fight against by any means, especially with these archers. The point-blank fire from these archers from Dale really proving to be very effective against the unshielded halberds there. Ooh, but over here, you can see the Mumakil, oh no! The Found Guard and the Pelagir Marines just getting absolutely smacked down by the Mumakil here. Looks like for the most part, most of these Found Guard are going to get back up though. And the Marines of Pelagir are javelins, so they could do decent. Yeah, surprisingly, not many of the Gondorians dying there from the Mumakil. They're just going to be able to get straight back up. You can see there is the Gondor cavalry back here as well, coming in, sweeping in from the rear. Going to be able to get some nice charges off on the rear lines of these evil forces. Serpent Guard charging the Marines of Pelagir, that's all fine and good, but if he's not careful, the Found Guard will be able to cut down the Serpent Guard very quickly. And here comes the Mumakil, now going to rush straight into this Gondor pipeline. And oh boy, just running straight through those pikes there. Oh, that is not good at all. That is not good for Gondor. And again, because he has so many archers, he doesn't really have much that can actually kill these Mumakil besides his own cavalry, which may end up getting caught by the Herodrum cavalry. Over here I can see the Gondor pipeline starting to falter. These Garrison of Remus Accord not super great by themselves. They will get pushed through here by all this mass of units. Really good teamwork here. Really nice, well-coordinated push from the evil side. However, against Linden and Dale, they are starting to struggle a little bit more, especially because of how outnumbered they are. You can see that Eclipse is here, and he's throwing a lot of javelins into this Dalian pipeline here. So definitely a very good decision there from Eclipse. But he's not really supporting his units here, and against this very thick pipeline of elves and men, even the Numenorean infantry and pikes will not do super great. So he's going to have to do something pretty quickly if he wants to hold on to this. See, there are also some Lake Timber patrol over here. Dale is scrambling his units over to also try and deal with the Numenor advance. There goes the Carnage General, and oh no, that is not good, because even the footmen and halberds, and definitely the Nomadic Light Infantry, will rout like crazy with the death of the General. You can see a nice charge here from the Earls of Dale right into the Romana Marines, going to stop them from throwing their javelins into the flanks of these Dalian units, although there are some pikemen on the way, as well as some more units around here as well. There's those Seafarers there, and again, things not looking... Well, they're looking very even, to say the least. Numenor and Shadow Guard. Oh, the Numenor and Shadow Guard. If they're able to get around on the flank here and just fire down with their BP arrows down this entire pipeline, that's going to be such a great move. I really hope he's going to be able to pull that off. He's going to have to move a little bit closer, though, if he wants to do that. Let's see. Oh, no, he's actually using them to target the Earls of Dale, interestingly enough. Probably not a great target, especially with these knights here. They should be able to deal with the remaining Earls of Dale. Oh, I really hope that he is able to get some flanking fire there on all those Dalian units, but we'll have to see. So far, though, Dale holding relatively strong. His cheap pikes and his archers trying to do their best against the Alcarandas Legion, as well as the Romana Sentinels, but the Numenorean infantry just of such high quality. Although over here you can see the numbers of the good team are really proving to be very effective against the low numbers but high quality of the Numenorean units. And over here, yeah, you can see, with the death of his General Khan, starting to struggle a little bit. I mean, you can see they're breaking through in some areas, but they're also getting surrounded in other areas, so it's not looking super great. The Earls of Dale getting cut down. Ooh, there goes those Earls of Dale are actually routing. And I thought, yes, the Demons of Vidazar are in fact here. That's probably these guys are actually probably the cause of all the opened holes in the good guys' pike line. You can see the evil team rushing forward here, now going to be able to get into the back line of archers of the good team. And again, Gondor with the Mumakil really struggling, but they have got their cavalry over here now. We've got some Gondor cavalry versus some Serpent Guard. Ooh, but there's also some nomadic slave cavalry around here, so the Gondor cavalry will end up losing that fight. Especially, oh yeah, Gondor cavalry completely surrounded on all sides by enemy cavalry. But we've got some more Gondor cavalry. I don't know what happened to the Mithrandir's bodyguard. There's some sentinels of Hirluin. Looks like the pike line has kind of restabilized here. You can see a lot of the Haradrim forces going down now, and there's still a ton of Gondor archers up as well. So things still definitely looking very, very even. The initial advance of the evil team was pretty effective. It worked out pretty well for them. However, things are starting to not turn out super great, at least on the Gondor flank, especially because it looks like most of the Mumakil are in fact dead. Yeah, they're actually running amok now, so they're all gone. So got the chariots and horse lords around here as well. And the attackers, or I keep calling them attackers, but I'm meaning to say the evil team. Still rushing forward here. They've got their elites in melee, but again, with all of the remaining javelins and archers here, it's going to be very difficult, especially because the good team still has a lot of archers remaining. And oh, I really hope Peak will be able to get his. Oh, we're going to maybe see a good volley right here by the body piercing javelins. Come on. Oh, maybe not. We'll see. They're reloading. Come on, come on. Look at this juicy blob of Dalian infantry. Please throw your javelins. Please. Please. Well, maybe not. Looks like he's not quite sure what he wants to target. However, the Ravenna Marines going to be able to jab right into the backs of these Dalian units. However, over here, Dale versus Numenor still just kind of progressing. You can see both sides not really making much headway, although the flanks of Numenor are not looking super great. I mean, it's just back and forth over here, back and forth here on this flank, just like crazy. The Ravenna Sentinels getting attacked by the Earls of Dale, but there's also some Haradrim Raiders. There's the body-piercing Numenor and Shadguard back there. There's also some Javelins here on the flank. I mean, things are just really going insane right now. Earls of Dale are going to probably be able to cut down the last of those knights. Yeah, over here, just things are absolutely insane. Here's some more dead Mumakil. Yeah, so it looks like all the Mumakil are done for. And yeah, just things just being so chaotic. I really love chaotic battles like this. Just absolutely insane. I just love battles like this, and I really hope that this one turns out to be very close. And it looks like it will be close. And oh, there goes a lot of the little remaining Dalian infantry. Although to be fair, there's not a ton of the evil infantry remaining as well. There's still a decent amount of the foot archers of the good guys as well. So it's going to be close. Up here, we've still got a lot of Gondor archers, as well as some marksmen of Carandos trying to kill the last of these. Ooh, Nurad Windblades. Actually, the Nurad Windblades are routing there. That's a very unfortunate loss. Very expensive cavalry unit, and for it to rout like that with 14 men still remaining is very unfortunate, but it's probably down to the fact of all the archer fire, as well as the Horse Lords of Omo, as well as the death of the Condish General. Looks like Gondor has pretty much wrapped up the fight on his side, with the exception of maybe some cavalry engagements. Looks like there is in fact some Haradrim cavalry still running around out here, causing some troubles. For the most part, ooh, Sentinels of Hirluin chasing down the Haradrim archers as well. For the most part, looks like Good is starting to take the advantage here in the fight. You can see Stormbearer Khan charging straight to the Ramus Core garrison right there, taking out a few of them. Actually, maybe going to rout them, possibly. But yeah, elsewhere, there's still some elites, there's still some definitely very deadly units, but there's a lot of units left over from Gondor. There's a lot of foot archers, there's a lot of pikes. I mean, look at all these archers! Oh my goodness, dude. Here's the Rangers of Tilion as well. There's Gondor archers, there's Veterans of Osgiliath. There's just so many archers left over from Gondor, so many. And yeah, you can see that the elite units are now starting to get picked off by all of those Gondor archers. So this will probably result in the deaths of all of these elite units, over here. Although Dale still, it's close. It's really close with Dale. You can see Dale's main line is starting to falter now. Looks like with the just overwhelming elite, the overwhelming elites from Numenor are really starting to just make their way through here. Looks like he actually even committed his Dalian Royal Guard in here as well. Looks like they're kind of stuck fighting the dead bodies of the Mumakil, unfortunately, but still. Over here we still got some cavalry from the evil team as well. Dalian Royal Guard trying to chase down these Ravenna Marines, as well as they're also being in support by the Earls of Dale as well. But some cavalry charges here from the Black Serpents. AP Lancers with 2 hit points, so they're able to cover a lot of damage to those units. We still have the Numenor and Shadowguard here as well, getting some nice flanking shots on pretty much probably all the units around here, really. Horse Lords of Ulmo, though, they're still very healthy. With the Horse Lords of Ulmo being so healthy, the only way I think things are going to be able to turn around for Evil is if they've got something like Demons of Desert to target down the Horse Lords of Omo and just take out the entire unit in one fell swoop. Otherwise, I think things are not going to go super great, especially because you can see all of the Archers of Gondor, as well as the remaining Pike units like the Forebears and the Fountain Guard, are making their way over here, cutting through the last of the Evil infantry. And again, there are still just so many of the Foot Archers of Gondor left over. You can see the Nomadic Slave Cavalry trying to charge into the back of the Marksmen of Carangelos, getting a decent amount of kills there. But the Marksmen of Carangelos, as you can see, if they pull out two-handed swords, they're actually shock infantry in melee, so they're actually very, very good in melee. They're kind of expensive to show for that, but they're very good. I think they have like 11 attack in melee or something, which for archers that are not elves is actually really, really insane. Yeah, all of the Gondor archers here just peppering down, just spraying down the few remaining evil forces. And yeah, looks like this chaotic fight is going to be coming to a close here pretty shortly. You can see Bargain Marksman getting committed melee over here against the Romana Marines, some Halberds, there's some Demons of the Desert over here I think as well. Looks like the Demons of the Desert are taking some pretty hideous charges here from the Sentinels of Hirluin. And over here, I mean, Dale, really struggled here against Numenor, although he did have a large portion of his forces over here to help out his allies, so that is definitely understandable. But yeah, still there's still a decent amount of Numenorean units over here, although with all the cavalry, well, not really. Oh, things are just still very close over here. It looks like there's still 34 Daeling Royal Guard, some Light Timber Patrol, the Horse Lords of Ulmo over here to help out. Yeah, over here we've got some dismounted Earls and the Daeling Royal Guard cutting down some Romana Marines, and then they're going to try to make their way towards the Numenorean Shadow Guard. And again, still very, very chaotic battle, pretty close as well. Gondor Cavalry breaking and fighting to the death there. But yeah, with these Horse Lords of Ulmo and the rest of the units that are left over, I think it's pretty much game over. Even the 19 Black Servant Bodyguards are really no match for the Horse Lords of Ulmo 1-to-1, even with some support probably from the Horizon Raiders. The Horse Lords of Ulmo are really just that good. They're of course knights though, so they're very expensive for it. And over here, yeah, it looks like Dale is pretty much cut down most of this remaining infantry with the support of Gondor. There's still some units here and there, but for the most part it's going to be pretty much game over as the Pikes and the Fountain Guard are slowly but surely making their way over here. Storm Guard of Khand as well, actually riding off the field there. So there goes another elite unit, or elite cavalry unit from Khand. And there go the Storm Guard of Nurat as well. So it's pretty much going to be game over for the evil players, although it was a very close, very chaotic battle. Very, very fun indeed. Hope you guys did enjoy it. And again, big thank you to J-Monster for sending me this replay. Horse Lords of Ulmo getting some nice cavalry charges here in the rear lines. Will be enough to rout some of these few remaining units. And I think it's probably, well, maybe not quite yet. So I got some Narnar Royal Guard and some Seafarers left over. Maybe not quite time to speak up just yet. We got the Black Serpents at 17. Over here we've got the Donor Road still 31. There's one Earl of Dale left over as well. There's 52 of these Numenorean Shadow Guard here in addition. And oh boy, look at this line. Oh, I love fights like this with like 3v3s and 4v4s where there's just like one insanely long battle line. I absolutely adore battles like this. That's just super, super cool to see. I love seeing battles like that. Haradrim Raiders. Looks like they're cutting down the last of these Sentinels of Hirluin. There are still there's still Horse Lords, there's still Mithon Lancers, and yeah, it's pretty much game over for the evil team. It's basically just a matter of running down the few remaining units of Numenor. Looks like, yeah, there's still some cavalry left over from Harad as well. You can actually see, yes, the Daeling Royal Guard and the last of the dismounted Earls tried to chase down these Numenorean Shadow Guard, who looks like they're going to be trying to attempt a little bit of a kiting tactic here. Going to try to run away and shoot, which, I mean, it sometimes works, but this late in the game, I mean, it's really not going to be that much of a help. The charge here from the Black Stone Bodyguard is not really a great charge, but I mean, it was kind of okay, I guess. Although they need to get out of there because the Daeling Royal Guard will be able to cut down those Black Servants very, very quickly. They don't have a bonus against cavalry or anything. It's just they're super good melee, so they will be able to cut them down to sides pretty quickly. Although the constant AP Lancer charges here will do a lot of damage to the Daeling Royal Guard. You can see one of them going down right there from that charge. 15 of the Black Serpents up there, 14 as it just, nope, a few more going down there. It's probably only like 10 or something left. 11. It was one short. Sentinels of Hirluin. Where's the Haradrim Raiders actually charging to the Farlandon Archers back there. We've got the last of the infantry of the evil team fighting now. We've got the Seafarers getting cut down to size by some Fountain Guard, some Guardian Marksmen. I think there's some yes, full on Marines in here as well. Here comes some of the Pikes of Gondor. And over here, yeah, we got some cavalry of the evil team charging in. Looks like some of those Nerd Windblades actually did return to the fight. But again, it's pretty much over at this point. The evil team really doesn't have much of a chance with all of these Gondor archers still remaining. They're going to be able to cut down the few remaining units pretty shortly here. Although again, the Numerous Shadow Guard, just kind of running around here, they might be able to get actually a good volley off here into the flanks of these units, maybe be able to take out some of the Fountain Guard and the Forebears. We'll see if that is in fact what they decide to do. And it looks like it. Yes, they're going to be able to get a volley off. One final volley, being able to do a little bit of damage, but it's not going to be really that helpful. There goes the Haradrim General. And that'll probably lead to the routing of his last remaining units. Yeah, there goes the Haradrim Raiders. Don't know where the Black Sprint Bodyguard are. There's 3 Nerd Windblades. Thinking about routing once again. There's the Black Serpents. There's 8 of them remaining. Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that we can go ahead and speed this one up. Again, that was a very, very chaotic, very fun battle. I mean, look at that line. That is absolutely insane. I just love battle like this, where it's just one huge-ass line battle like that. It's really, really fun to see. And see the few remaining units getting stranded and cut down, and the cavalry as well getting chased down, in addition to those numerous Shadow Guard getting beaten down by the remaining cavalry from the good team. But again, very good show by both the good and evil teams. And again, big thank you to JMonster for sending me this replay. And again, I hope you guys did enjoy this little preview of 0.97. Yeah, the 0.97 patch that is yet to be released and is just in the testing phase. Again, this was... Oh no, there goes the Gondor General right at the very last second. That's unfortunate. The General getting sniped there by the few remaining Windblades. Is Boromir still alive? Yeah, oh, Boromir's still alive, so that's fine. That's all I care about. No, I'm just kidding. But still, Windblade's getting shot to death, looks like, by the remaining Gondor archers. And yes, in fact, there they go. And that'll be the end of this replay. So the most kills went to Jordan or something with 2,000. Starling got 1,800. Engspitz got 1,600. The most kills for the evil team went to Lucky SR with 1,900. We'll take a quick look here at the exact kills. Dalian Royal Guard getting 154 kills is good. 180 on the Pikeman. The other Pike getting 106 and the other one getting 35. His Dalian Marksman did good. His Bargain Marksman did very, very good. Earls of Dale did kind of eh. Dismounted Earls, however, did very good for themselves, and the Lake and River Patrol also did very good indeed. But like I said, that'll pretty much be the end of this replay, so if you guys did enjoy it, please comment, like, and subscribe if you did. If you did not, just tell me what I did wrong, and I'll be sure to fix it for the next video. So farewell, wherever you fare, till your eyes receive you, at your journey's end.